Hey, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to Don Odell's Legends. My name is Art Tipaldi. Today we're here with a multi-instrumentalist, great vocalist, owner of her own record label, touring the world, Eliza Neals. Eliza, welcome to Don's.
Thank you so much for having me, Art. It's been a while. I've been trying to meet you, and so here we are, finally.
Yeah. Well, we're happy to have you. I know that your first time at the studio, I couldn't make it to do the interview, but I'm here now to make up for that. So,
thank God, and you brought some snow with you.
That's right. For people at home watching this, we had 2 inches of heavy, wet April snow here. But so I always like to ask people the question: when did you decide on music as that was going to be your life's trajectory? You know, for example, when I asked Anthony Gerasi that, he said when he was 4, he wanted a piano. Was it an instrument first that caught you, or was it singing first, or was it performing?
Well, I have to say, when we were young children, I have 2 sisters. Mm-hmm. My dad used to play the guitar and the harmonica. He was in the Navy. Okay. And he would play and sing, and we just started singing as a family, you know, folk, almost like, talent shows and things like that in the house. So we just kept going. He played mandolin, and I just kept singing and singing. And then as we got older, I would, play the piano in the house and enter talent shows. Mm-hmm. And I'd keep winning them.
How old were you at that?
I was about, 11, 12 years old.
Sure.
So very young, and I'd start copywriting songs as I would write songs.
Really?
Yeah, because I learned, you have to send yourself a tape. This was when I was 13, 14.
Yeah.
So in like high school and junior high, I would just enter all the contests and keep winning, playing my own original music.
Wow.
And I'd copyright them, like sending yourself a cassette back. And I said, I really like this. And let me keep doing this because of the feedback with the audience. They kept me going. So I would excel in all the choirs and touring, and all through high school we'd travel all over the place in the madrigal groups.
Oh yeah.
And I'd be the soloist, and we'd go in the back music rooms and play. And I just thought, this is really fun, but can I really do this? So as I kept going, my dad says, well, you have to get a degree after high school.
Right.
After being in all the groups. And I decided, okay, well, how hard can a music degree be?
Yeah.
Well, I went to Wayne State University and studied opera. And I figured, how hard can that be? It was very hard.
Yeah, right.
But, I did it, and I kept singing blues and rock like 5, 6 nights a week in my own band.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd be out singing, making money because I had my own band. I should say I had my own band in high school. We'd sing at all the lunchroom concerts. It was just constant. And my older sister also is a very classically trained, a pianist and also singer, writes great music, great lyrics. We've written many songs together. And so I just followed her kind of lead. Okay. And we'd sing together, and the sibling voices were so beautiful. My other sister, 3.
Yeah.
So one day maybe you'll hear that. I have a brother too. He didn't sing.
Yeah.
So I went to Wayne State. I got my degree with piano and opera. And the teacher said, well, you're really good. You can go to Vienna and be an opera singer, but you have to get rid of this rasp in your voice. You can't be an opera singer
with the
rasp.
Yeah.
You have to choose.
Yeah.
And so I said, well, I really have, I love what I'm doing. It's my own band. I'm making $1,000 a week.
Wow.
Cash under the table, sleep in.
Yeah.
Go to your classes, and you don't have to do a 9 to 5. So you're like, I'm not giving that up.
That's right.
So I said, look, maybe later in life I'll do opera as a profession, but right now I'm taking the training, learning how to breathe and learning how to keep my voice intact and how to put the grit on it, how to take it off.
Wow.
Through the training, like a fuzz pedal, like you would a guitar player.
Yeah. Right.
See what happens.
The learning curve as a vocalist, as a child, who were you emulating? Were you listening to records? Were you trying to emulate your older sisters? Who was, because I know as a vocalist it's hard to, as a guitar player or a piano player, you can go and watch somebody play and you can sort of see what they're doing, but as a vocalist, you got to hear it and then try to make it your own. What was that learning curve like?
Well, my dad had vinyl. He had a big vinyl collection, anywhere from Chet Atkins guitar. I'm Armenian, so Armenian music way over here.
Sure.
And then in between, we'd have Aretha Franklin, all the Motown records. We'd have Howlin' Wolf, everything. He had such a beautiful arrangement of vast variety. So I would listen to Aretha Franklin. You know, I listened to, gosh, Marvin Gaye, stuff like that, and try to like, in fact, I had a friend of mine who was a famous guitar player. He played with Earl Klugh and everyone. He would tell me, look, don't get out of the car till you can sing back like an Aretha Franklin lick or a Marvin Gaye, Let's Get It On. Don't get out of the car till, you know, this was later. But as a kid, I would say mostly it's classic blues, classic soul, yep, soul, and like Motown.
Right, because
and
you're
stuff
from
like
Detroit.
that.
Yeah.
And then, of course, Armenian music, hearing, you know, bouzouki and oud and doombags and all that kind of stuff. So
and that adds a whole cultural grit to your singing. That you're now adding on to your soul, your blues, your R&B,
and classic rock.
Classic
of course.
rock. Yeah, so that is a distinctive area that your voice kind of can cover. In terms of the instrument, the piano, which, you know, I would think most people are going to pick up a guitar. What was it about the piano that spoke to you?
Well,
especially with your dad playing guitar.
Right, he had the guitar and the harmonica, but then they had a piano, an upright Baldwin. Yeah. And we just thought it was like a fun tool in the house. My sister would start playing these songs, you know, all by ear. Yeah. But we did have piano lessons too, but mostly she was older, she would take some of the classic rock albums, like just take somebody, I don't know, Doobie Brothers or somebody, and she would take a song and then turn it into her own, just playing it and singing it. Then we'd come in and do harmony with her.
Sweet.
So it's kind of like Neil Young, 3-part harmony. Sure. Or you take a Jackson Brown song or a Bonnie Raitt song. I mean, they had albums back, this was late 70s, early 80s.
Right.
So we would kind of just take like classic rock tunes, blues tunes, play them comping. Just comping, like, you know, you Elton John style or something, and turn them into our own. And that's how I started writing my own tunes. Yeah. Like Color Crimes.
Right.
That song you hear, that's how I learned to play on our own by ear. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So, were you when did you start to learn the different piano styles that are important in the blues?
Well, boogie woogie,
whether it's boogie woogie, honky tonk, sure. You know, that Chicago blues of Otis Spann. When did you start to?
That's in high school more. We learned the different styles. Yeah. And I did like it. I learned how to boogie woogie a little bit.
Ray Charles.
Ray Charles, well, Barrett with Money.
Yeah.
He got that groove from Ray Charles. He told me the exact story. Cool. So he taught me how to do it. Right. You stay down, you just move you don't even move. It's on the one the whole time. Staying on one chord. I thought you moved one, to all the 1, 4, 5, but it's all on the one.
On the one, okay, yeah.
So if you're playing Money, stay on the one.
Right. So as all of this is coming together, what's the because I've had people in here from Chicago, we've had people from Texas, Austin, Memphis, of course, Nashville. What's the Detroit music scene like as you're growing up? Especially, you're growing up in the age of hip hop and rap.
Right.
How is it that you went this way and not that way?
Well, it was a chance encounter. Well, I grew up in a family where my dad was so like classical and the classics.
Oh, okay.
So I heard all that as a kid.
When you mean classics, you don't mean like Beethoven and Bach.
Well, I heard some of that too,
but you mean the
classic guitar, like like flamenco guitar, like what the greats played.
Was your dad? Excuse me a minute. Was your dad a very good guitar?
He was good for just self-taught.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say he was awesome, but he was very good.
But he sounds very eclectic.
Yeah, he did. Malagueña.
Wow.
Played stuff like that, and like so. We heard all the greats, like Pavarotti, stuff like that. All the best stuff we heard. Yeah. But as growing up in Detroit, I heard so much Motown, and then so much rock and roll.
That's true too.
From Detroit blues, rock, the whole thing, Bob Seger. Yeah. Then you got Iggy Pop. Yeah. You got all that, but I was drawn more to Motown. Okay. By my ear because it was soulful. Yeah. And to me, after I met Barrett Strong, I realized he was from Mississippi. He's cousins with Howlin' Wolf. Wow. If you go back. Yeah. He would teach me, like when he heard me sing, I'll go back how I met him, in a health food store in Southfield. In walks the great Barrett Strong. I'm with my sister. I'm getting him a smoothie or something. I'm singing in between. He goes, you sound good. You should come by my studio. I go, because people say that to you all the time. You're like, yeah, sure, whatever. It was really him. I didn't believe it. I'm like, but he had this like fur coat on.
Right.
I'm like, this guy's decked out. He really must be somebody. So we went over there, and our mouths hit the ground from one wall all the way around gold platinum records.
Wow.
I Wish It Would Rain, Papa's Rolling Stone.
Yeah.
You know, smiling faces. Like, this is really him, you know?
Yeah.
So we played a song for him on the piano. We harmonized. He goes, I'm signing to my label. I love it. He's the first person to embrace me.
Right.
Going further to record.
Right.
African-American gentleman from Mississippi. Blues with a beat is Motown.
Yeah.
They
right.
just
That's
lucked
right.
out. They're blues artists,
Yeah,
right?
that's right.
So I got this training as, you know, play the song, sing the song. If you can play and sing a song, you're the producer. That's what he taught me.
Okay.
I said, okay. So I learned under him how to do all these things.
Right.
15 years in the studio, string section from the DSO. He would bring them all in, Paul Reiser. I mean, everyone was like walking in and out. And I was just my mouth, Art.
Yeah.
The stuff I learned and the stuff I know how to do from that
Right.
is just mind-boggling. People look at me and go, how do you know all this stuff?
Yeah.
Like, you know, this has died. I'm Armenian. You know?
Right. Yeah.
Well, okay, but I know, and I studied it. And so Barrett, God rest his soul, 2 years ago, he passed away, but we've written over 60 tunes together.
Wow.
He let me co-produce his album.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It's just
and you have produced almost all of your records, but the one that you
yeah.
And so those lessons that he's taught you must come to witness,
Yes.
or come to the surface every time you go in the studio.
Right.
Yeah,
He's like, if you, well, I mean, of course I'd like let some Don Was or somebody, if it came to that, but right now, since like everything we put out goes right to B.B. King's Bluesville.
Yeah.
Everything I've put out since 2015 in heavy rotation.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I'm not gonna, you know.
Right.
If it's working, let's keep going.
Sure. Yeah.
That's my thing.
And I don't think in the albums that you've produced, especially since your label since 2015,
yes,
there is a different, you know, sort of turn in each one. They don't sound all the same, you know, and that's to the growth of you as a producer. I like what he said though. If you can sing it, you can produce it. Is that?
Yes. He told me if you write the song, you know how it goes.
Okay. Yeah.
So then who can produce it better than you?
Right.
That's what I said. Okay. Taught me how to do it.
Yeah.
Find the best musicians you can find.
Yeah. Do you have a problem with that, being the woman leading these musicians in the studio?
Yeah, sometimes it's
to
like,
stand up for what you think, the way you want the picture painted, and someone may say, well, I think that coloring is off. Is that something that is real in what you're doing?
Absolutely. I mean, I've been fighting to get to get the way I really want to do the song.
Yeah.
It took years.
Yeah.
Finally, 2015, we said, we're just going to do this. I found my friend Howard Glazer in Detroit, a Waylon guitar player. He's been in the blues before. Have you heard of Howard Glazer?
Oh, of course, yeah.
So I said, Howard, do you want to do a project with me? He said, yeah. So we got him. We got a couple other guys from Detroit. And I hired the best musicians I could find, which is what Barrett taught me.
Yeah.
He was alive at the time. He said, you're doing right. You're doing good. He would help me.
Oh, wow.
Call me. Run it past him.
Yeah.
That's good. Keep it raw. Do this, that. And we went into the studio and we cut breaking and entering. And I said, let's just get this raw as possible and let me just sing in the way I feel it's going to make some waves.
Yeah.
You know, we'll break through and it did. It broke right through. We hired Frank Rozak.
Oh yeah, I know Frank.
Awesome guy. He got it right to radio, and it went on in like 1 week.
Wow. Yeah.
With Lou Brutus, program director.
Okay. Yeah.
And it was on 3-4 times a day or whatever. So I'm like, wow, going a little left into the blues more, like just kind of raw, rugged, you know, breaking and entering, you know, just kind of real gritty, and it broke me in.
Yeah.
And then after that, I could start playing around more with the Coco Taylor, the Etta James, like all the songs. Barrett told me, you better learn Etta James, learn Coco Taylor, learn Bobby Blue Bland. Those, you know, Howlin' Wolf, take those and make them your own.
Right.
And so I've been working on that and writing in that style with Mr. Strong for years.
Oh my God.
Didn't even know it was actually like modern blues.
Yeah. That you were taking your vision of the world and making it into modern blues. I was going to talk to you about the importance of originals, because one of the things I see on all of your records is the preponderance of Eliza Neal originals. Very few covers.
Yes.
How would you say, or the importance of originals to any songwriters out there who are paying attention?
Yeah, I think you have to. If it's blues, if it's blues genre you're writing, go listen to, the greats, okay? Coco Taylor, like we just said, Etta James, Howlin' Wolf, and like hear what they're doing, and like and this is what Barrett taught me. You don't need a pen to remember the hook. If it's a good hook, it stays in your head. Because I asked him, I go, where's your pen sometimes? Where's your pen and paper? And he was so funny. You would have loved him.
Yeah.
He's like, what do I need a pen for? It's here. If I don't remember it, it ain't about.
Right.
I don't want to swear on the show.
No.
It starts with
if I don't
SH.
remember it, the listener isn't going to remember it. The radio station isn't going to remember it. The public's
no one
not going to remember it.
And it won't come
That's
back. Like
very
he
cool.
said, how Just My Imagination was written, and Grapevine was written on a piano with 2 working keys.
Yeah. Wow.
Bum, 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 bum. That's it.
Yeah.
He wrote that.
Oh my gosh.
What was Norman Whitfield, but that was the line he thought of.
Yeah.
The piano falls down the stair. Well, it was a broken piano. Then it got moved to the museum. That's one story. Another one, he wrote her all those hits, but Just My Imagination, he remembers that kept coming back to him, and he didn't even have to write it down. He just remembered the whole thing, and that became a huge hit.
Yeah.
But he said, if you can remember the hook, you got something.
Right. Do you come up with that hook or lyrics first, or are you hearing the music first? How would you describe how you put a song together?
It's all different, but a lot of times I'll go to the piano, I have this old piano, and I'll come up with ideas and grooves, like da 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 da, things like that, or just rhythms and melodies, and then I have a whole pad. I write down like what's be abstract painting, maybe just ideas, and then when I listen back, I put those words that I was thinking of, that I remember as a hook, and then I start writing the song. But I think the piano might come first.
Okay.
Or, more recently, my partner, I didn't talk about him yet, Mike P.
Oh, yeah.
He goes back, he was Barrett's first engineer.
Okay.
I found it for Barrett. He is so talented. He's a Detroit guy from the Upper Peninsula.
Yep.
And he went to Berklee School of Music, and he's my co-producer, and we write a lot together. Sometimes he'll just send me a track that he's written, and I rearrange it.
Yeah.
And I plug words to that.
Okay.
So it goes different ways.
Okay.
But Color Crimes was a song that I wrote a long time ago. Barrett heard it. He goes, it's a smash. And we did it with a choir. He hired 8 voices from a choir.
Right.
And when I was saying, Mother Nature created all living things, the choir said, no, we don't sing that. You got to say God created all living things. Mother Nature comes second.
Oh, yeah.
So that was how I rewrote that.
Right,
because the choir's like, we can't sing on that. That's voodoo. You know what I mean?
Yeah, right.
This was a Baptist church, too. So
Yeah.
finally I changed that line, and they go, okay, now we can sing it.
Right.
But I rewrote the whole arrangement at Bradenton Blues Festival on stage.
Oh my gosh! And I saw you there.
Okay.
That was what, a year ago,
Yes.
2023.
Remember that?
Yeah, we were
That was
there that
written on the
Friday
spot.
night.
That-
Oh my gosh!
Yeah.
So I was going to ask you about workshopping these songs
Yeah.
before you put them on the record. Do you workshop them?
Yes.
Where?
Well, at home.
At home.
I have a piano, and
Okay.
I just have a iPhone with a recorder. I listen, I cut. And then I go to Mike's studio. He was in Nashville. Now he's in Florida.
Okay.
Like the upper part
Yeah,
of Florida,
yeah.
Destin, Florida.
Yeah,
think
I know,
that's what it's
yeah.
called. So he has his own studio, and I go there. Just in fact, we drove up there after Spring in the Blues and Funky Biscuit, and we recorded a new song that's coming out soon. It's a track he gave me. We redid it, and it's just a homage to Howlin' Wolf.
Oh, nice.
That's all I can say.
Yeah.
But he's one of my favorite voices in
Right,
the blues.
right,
you know,
right.
So he's phenomenal.
Yeah, so I was
guitar
gonna,
player.
because
Yeah.
I wonder sometimes about, do you workshop songs live in a
Sometimes
club
I do. If
to
I
see
have
what
the guts.
audience?
Yeah. I want to see what it was
Yeah.
such a perfect setting at Bradenton.
Oh, it was. I know.
And the love was so
Yeah.
strong. I go, you know what? I'm just going to break out Color Crimes
Yeah.
because everything in the world is so mangled and crazy. And I just wanted people to know, this is what I feel, and I know this is gonna, I hope they would feel the same way. And people came up to me after, because I had that little, I was working on that bass line, da, 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 and that arpeggio thing I was doing at home prior. It just all came together at that moment. And the guys were like, what? And I said, just follow along. It's A minor. You'll follow me. They're so good. They just followed, and they did such a great job. People came up to me and said, can I buy that song now? They were crying.
Wow. Oh, my gosh.
So I said, okay, that's the next single.
That was a highlight of that show, for sure.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. The record label that you started. So tell me about what led to that.
Well, Jay, my man, E&H, that's our record label.
That's right.
We decided, I've learned so much from Barrett Strong, okay? He taught me what not to do, okay? Because he had been through a few bad deals. But for the most part, he lived a very nice life. I mean, he was a writer on so many hits. I mean, I remember he showed me a check for $500,000 from the Raisin commercial. From
that's right, heard it through the grapevine.
What is this business? You're a songwriter? Okay, that's what I'm doing.
Yes.
No, I'm not just for the money, but like, it's just so, it's so exciting to be able to write something and touch people and then also get paid. So I just he taught me, if you can do it on your own, it's great, but if you can find someone who can really take you to the next level, by all means, do it. But try to own as much as you can so the checks go to you, because there's not that much money. I mean, after the pandemic, so many places closed. How are you going to go to this in a van that could break down? You got to pay for the guys on the road, the food, the hotel. It's very difficult. So we decided, let's put this music out and try to do it regionally. And try to see how we can do it. And so far, it's been working out.
And
we're rising.
Do you think that it's much easier for an artist today to start their own record label than it was 20 years ago?
I do think so, because, I mean, no one was giving out any information 20 years ago. I mean, to learn about copyrights and copyright recapture and who publishes and who owns what, it was hidden. So now there's so many tools you can find out how to do it. Who owns what? What are my rights? You know, there's so many things. Like, in fact, we helped Barrett Strong get his copyrights back for money. They took his name off the copyright when it was a big hit.
Nice.
I mean, I don't want to go into that, but
nice. Yeah, it seems like today, big tech has really taken over music. And I see a real groundswell of what I call, the garage music is starting now to come back. Younger people are fighting against big tech owning everything of theirs. And by starting your own record label, as many people are doing nowadays, many musicians, that's a great way to control your music. Instead of going to some record label and the first thing they're going to say to you is, how many likes do you have?
How many Spotify's, how many likes, and then change it, because they'll give you a producer. The producer gets paid.
That's right.
The label gets your royalties. What do you get?
Yeah.
So now you have to get a van and get on that road, which is not a bad thing. But
no.
How do you pay for it? All that money, they have to promote you. Then you have to buy your records back. I mean, I've heard horror stories. But if you can pull off a 50-50 thing with a label where they own half, your partners. And you can still get these checks if you have more radio, let's say beyond Sirius XM. You can make more money and you can have a good partner. You go to get yourself in movies, TV shows, and do your tours. Because festivals are the best.
That's right.
To me.
Are you finding social media is a big help for not only your career, but your getting your music out there?
Absolutely, it does. Like, YouTube's great, but Spotify doesn't pay you, but it's still a good tool. Like, I just sang a duet with Joe Louis Walker. I sang One Woman on his new reimagined album, Cold as the Night. So I'm on One Woman. I'm the duet. He's asked me to do Mystique 4 times, where I met Mick Jagger and all that. And he's just the nicest. He's a giant. And like, when you meet him, you're like, at first, he's such a nice guy and so humble. You don't realize this guy is a major rock star. And I'm hanging out with him, we're talking and blah, 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 on stage with him. He's very gracious, and he's like, Eliza, you don't have to work so hard. He'll tell you things. And he's like, you don't know who you are yet, and things like that. And then he calls me, hey, you want to get on my, sing a duet?
Reimagine, yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I love him to death. He's given me a lot of big breaks.
Yeah.
And a lot of love. So look, when he calls, I'm there.
That's right.
You know.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, one last question now, as we're running out of time.
Okay.
What is blues giving you through your life that other musics haven't given you? You've sort of dedicated, when people read your bio, they're going to go, oh, she started off playing classical piano, then opera, and now she's in the blues. But I'm finding out that's not correct, that you've always been in it.
No. It's always been that. The bluesy rock.
Yeah, yeah. So what has this music given you?
Well, it gives me like joy. I mean, when I wake up and think about what I've been doing for the past, like since 2015, I could cry.
Yeah.
Like just the people.
Yeah, yeah.
The friendships. Just last night, hugging everyone after. People, I found you.
You're right.
I'm in tears.
Yeah.
You don't have any fluff songs. Everything's a hit.
Yeah.
Like when they tell me this, people might think, oh yeah, I don't have much. I mean, I have a small ego. I'm always like, was it good?
Yeah, right.
Most artists that I love are like that. Like Walter Trout.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's so humble.
Yeah.
So many people, Papa Chubby even, like he asked me to sing. I'm doing all the backups on his album.
Right.
Like it's just music. It's all about the song.
Yeah.
It's about the music.
Yeah.
It's about how you're making the audience feel. If I look at the audience and they look bored, I'm telling the B3 player, hit it.
Yes.
It's like a work in progress on
Right.
stage. It's not set.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like, it's moving.
Yeah.
It's living.
Do you feel like every show you're growing a little bit more into what you see
Absolutely.
your future to be,
Yes, I see.
Every record.
Every record, like I want to do a complete homage, blues album, and then just do it with, like Kenny Neal, Joe, and just have all the greats come in and like just do this album with me.
That'd be cool.
That's coming. But in the meantime, I have these crazy stories that relate to the blues that I really want people. I want them to hear it and forget their troubles.
Yeah.
Mostly.
Yeah.
Or I want them to learn something and heal them from within, so they can say, you know what, maybe I shouldn't be this way or that way.
Right,
Like Color Crimes was the bigotry, the treachery,
yeah.
the lie. That was my real. I didn't know how people were going to take it, but it was good. They really, really were touched. But like Candy Store, for instance.
Yeah.
It's I had a lot of bad boyfriends. You take that, make
Right.
lemons into lemonade,
Yeah.
and like it heals me.
Yeah, it heals you.
So I feel healed. Like you asked me, what
Yeah.
has blues done? It's opened up my mind to how I can take all this training and this love for music I have and actually heal people and heal myself
Yeah.
as I go through my life.
That's right. That's beautiful. Thank you very much, Eliza.
Thank
so once
you.
again, everybody, Art Tipaldi here with Eliza Neals, giving you an insight into her life in music and all the things that she has accomplished and all the special talent that you have as a singer and as a piano player. I forgot to ask you, how much piano do you play during a show? Are you?
Sometimes I play a lot.
Because other than Bradenton, I don't know what your show is like when you're off the festival stage. Are you playing a lot of piano?
Yeah, I play like a lot of the comp. I do comping. I do like some boogie woogie a little bit, and then I have a B3 player. So he but I do play a lot. In fact, I broke this nail from playing so much. But then I stand up because I want to have fun with the guys or girls, whoever. And I do play a lot, because I write it all on piano first, pretty much, unless it's guitar. But I play a lot. I'd say 70%.
Yeah, very
is
nice.
piano. I've won 2 Independent Blues Awards. I've been nominated for over 20. So we keep working. It's not about the awards, but to get them is really nice.
That's right. Yeah.
I'm just breaking in, more people getting to know who I am.
Good.
And pretty soon they'll see my life has been music, and it's not the other what you thought maybe it was. It's not really that.
You're not the opera singer who decided to go to blues. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much, and enjoy checking out Eliza Neals. Thanks, Eliza.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.